Hey, Onision. Okay, so this is a question that's hard for me. Um, because not because I want to spread my seed, but because I don't feel like people should be controlled to that level. But I also really think that the population doesn't need to grow anymore. And so I definitely understand where you're coming from. To say the people who have a negative trait, not even a negative trait, but a trait that involves disease, why you might not want them to reproduce. But I mean that really brings up the question as to where is the line drawn between discriminating against people because of some disease they have, or is it really just protecting the best interests of kids? And I think a lot of people feel it important to spread their seed. One, because they want to have the feeling of birth, of giving life, and I really don't think that's a legitimate reason. But for some people, it's important to them. Personally, I don't feel the need to spread my seed, but I'm not saying I wouldn't want to be a biological father. I think I want to be a father. I'm not ready to make a decision yet about kids, but I definitely see something like that in the future. I'd love to have somebody to pass some of my ideas down to have an influence upon in ways that I honestly don't think that my parents did. And that's not saying that they don't do their best. That's saying that I feel like many of my ideas, if I can just get past a certain level of a certain way of thinking that I've had that has brought me down, as soon as I can get past that, to be honest, I think I'd be a great father. That's not saying that I'm a good father now or that I would be now, but I think when it comes down to it, I could be if I can get past certain attributes. And I think that's the problem. Is I don't care about selective breeding, whatever. I feel like people should have the right to have kids, but honestly, another topic is the way people raise kids. I think more restrictions need to be put on that. For example, I believe that parents shouldn't be allowed to use physical punishment just for the simple idea that it's a way of teaching with fear. And if they're not allowed to physically punish their children, and I mean it will still happen, of course, but I think if parents aren't allowed to physically punish their children, then they're not allowed to instill this fear in their children. Um, they have this fear of them. That's really the thing. Why physical punishment is wrong is because it makes the kids afraid of their parents. And they might come up with a thing of, I am doing this because you did something wrong and to teach you a lesson. But it's not teaching them anything except for not to question their parents. And that's really not good parenting. Good parenting might be to instill some sort of consequence because that's what would happen in the real world. But better to attempt to explain to a kid something. And sometimes you do have to put something in practice. But the problem is, it's like you do something wrong, you hit somebody, they get hit. You also need to take into account that they're not just learning from the perspective of a kid. They're also learning from the perspective of I listen to this person or I get hit. That's what they think that they're teaching the kids. Maybe that's not as bad. But think about this. The other idea they might be getting is if someone doesn't listen to me and does something I don't like, I then have the right to hit them. That and just telling them it doesn't work like that and that you can't do that and this is simply punishment, that they see the hypocrisy. The problem is we think that kids have this one type of mindset where they only see things from the perspective of this person is the authority, and they don't think about doing what their parents do. But we all know that they do. So I mean that's the problem with things like that. So I think more than anything, we just need to crack down on you know how parents are allowed to raise kids. And I think another problem is unfit parents. bringing up kids. Not just genetically unfit, but mentally unfit. For example, I know I have certain problems. Um, Even though I've overcome a lot of anger, I still know that that's a problem for me. I also know that I have very strong feelings on certain subjects that may lead me to not be as logical about my decision making for my kids or talking to my kids. I think I have certain biases that I have been raised with that I don't want my kids to have to experience. So I feel like I have to do a lot of internal searching before I'm ready to have any kids, either biologically or by adoption. Because honestly, I want to be in the best state of mind I can possibly be. I'm not saying that I can be perfect, but I want to be in a good state of mind when I have kids. The problem is, it doesn't take a good state of mind to have kids and to raise them. It just takes a good state of mind to raise them well. So, I'm presenting a lot of problems, but I want to ask you what should be done. Can anything be done? Or should it really go down to how we raise the kids? It just seems to me like the real thing that's spreading through the recreation, more importantly than any gene, any disease, is these disease of ideas that just keep going down and down and down the line. And it takes a very strong person to break away. Now, I broke away in many ways out of rebellion, but I still hold many of the biases that were instilled in me. And I still have issues with certain things internally because of some of the biases that are in me. And I'm not anything special. Don't get me wrong. I'm not any special case out there, okay? I would like to think that in some ways I may seem more able to go away from what my parents have done, but to be honest, a lot of it has been out of rebellion, at least in the beginning. Luckily, I was led to think about things logically, and I would consider myself very lucky because I had that opportunity to want to learn. But many things, many people have the same biases. So rather than thinking about, and it's still an interesting question, Anissa, rather than thinking about the diseases passed on, let's think about the ideological diseases being passed on. And honestly, if you're going to ask me what we can do about this, about bad parenting, there's only so much the government can do without being oppressive. And there's only so much somebody besides the individual parent can do. So I can't really think of a civil, reasonable solution to this problem besides just somewhere in the schools. And that's why I feel like the schools should instill certain ideas in the kids, and that we need to promote changing our schools and having better ideas taught. I feel more important than any math class they can take is learning something about morality. I'm not talking about religion courses or religious morality or any crap like that. I'm not talking about opinions. I'm talking about giving these kids a place to express ideas, to focus on psychological aspects, instead of worrying so much about the math they know or whether they know this country's history. That's important. That's nice. That has its place. But I think the most important thing is to psychologically focus on the kids and help the kids in the schools. Because sometimes parents just suck. Spike here. Peace out.